king? And you never told us?
So I got this shirt from Nordstrom Rack for $17, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one piece that I actually made in a different video. I'll link it down below, but I love the way this neckline is, so that's why I'm using that. And then I like the fit of these bikini bottoms. So I'm going to make sure that I pull the crotch of the bikini bottoms further than the actual jumpsuit, just because I know that this t-shirt material is not as stretchy as the swimsuit bottom or the jumpsuit. So after you go ahead and make your pattern, and if you have a one piece, feel free to use a one piece, but I don't have one, so that's why I did this. But I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out around one side of this pattern, and then once I'm done cutting out one side, I'm going to go ahead and fold over this t-shirt in half, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the exact same thing on the other side. So now that I'm done with that, this is what it's looking like, and you can see it already looks like a bodysuit. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and create my neckline, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut one half of the neckline, fold it over, and then use that to cut the other side, just to make sure that everything is completely symmetrical. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm taking only the front layer of the bodysuit, and I'm cutting a little bit off because when you are making a bodysuit or a swimsuit or underwear or anything, the crotch area or the front part is always like less than the back part, if that makes sense. So you just want to go ahead and cut off a little bit of excess fabric in the front, and we will move on to the next step. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and flip this bodysuit inside out, and we're just going to go ahead and sew up each side as well as the crotch. And you're just going to want to use a straight stitch, or you can use zigzag, so it doesn't really matter. So for the next step, I'm using this bias tape, and I forgot what the other thing is called, but it was the closest thing to stripes, so you know, I'm just being creative. So I'm going to measure directly on the side of the shirt, and then you want to measure on each side of that as well, and just go ahead and first I sewed the black small ribbon onto the yellow one using one straight black stitch, and then to sew each stripe onto the actual bodysuit, I sewed a yellow stitch on each side of each stripe. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's kind of confusing, but yeah, so this is how it's looking once I sewed all the stripes down. And now the last step is to use my all-time favorite, fold over elastic, and I'm just gonna go ahead and measure around the thigh area, and then I'm gonna cut off a piece long enough to go around, and then I'm just gonna double that because we have two thigh holes. So now there are my two thigh hole pieces, and I'm gonna do the same thing for the armhole. So I'm cutting out one piece for the armhole, and then I'm gonna use that to measure an exact same strip for the other armhole. And now once I'm done with that, the last thing to measure is the neckline, and you can just go ahead and do the exact same thing again and again. So I'm measuring the front, doubling that because the front and back are the exact same length, and then I'm just gonna cut some off. So now what you're gonna wanna do is fold your elastic inside out, and you're gonna sew a straight stitch along all the edges of each of those pieces we just cut out. So now this is what it's looking like. I went ahead and sewed everything on aside from one armhole so I could show you guys how I attach it. And this is what it's looking like. I did mess up a little bit. I didn't get every end of the stripes into the fold over elastic, but you can't really tell. So this is what it looks like once you have sewn that edge together, and now it's one complete circle. And so what I'm gonna do is take that seam, and I'm gonna match it up to the seam on top of the shoulder, And then you can just go ahead and fold your elastic, fold your fabric, or not fold your fabric, but put your fabric into your folded elastic. Then I like to pull it in half like this, and then I'm gonna match that up to the middle stripe. And then once again, just go ahead and fold the elastic over the fabric and pin it into place. Then you're going to continue doing this pinning and folding and pinning method around the whole entire armhole, and you just want to make sure that you're pinning the elastic evenly all the way around. And then once you are done pinning everything into place, you can go ahead and sew a zigzag stitch all the way around that, and you are completely done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that it was helpful and that you could understand it. And if you enjoyed this, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and turn on that bell notification symbol so that you're notified when I upload new heat. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.